Alright, good evening everyone. I'm Professor McCoy, welcome back. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, and again, I just apologized for this last time, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it profusely for my lack of a voice tonight. So, I'm very sorry. Oh no. Kids are fighting over their bunk beds again, so you hear the chatting in the background, and I apologize for that as well. I have my gain turned up quite a bit so you can hear me, so if they peek through, then not much I can do about it. Anyway, it looks like we are ready to actually finish up tonight. We're starting here from the Bridge of the Raptor, having just defeated Darth Nihilus. Ready to get the heck out of here and finish things up with Kreia, or Darth Treya, or whatever she wants to call herself, on Malachor V. There might be something in the middle there. I'm not 100% sure. That's it, right? I just need to leave. Yeah, I guess I just have to leave. That's all there is to it. That's a bit anticlimactic, but okay. Story-wise. I assumed there would just be a cutscene at this point, like when you leave the bridge, but I guess not. Oh, I missed something. Silly me. Nothing important, but I missed it. Alright, now let's get out of here. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Alright. Well, I've recently been watching an excellent video series from a channel that I honestly cannot remember the name of. I will absolutely put a link in the description. He does a full, it's a gaming channel usually, but he's done a couple of really long video essays on especially Pixar movies. Excuse me. And particularly he had like a 6 hour, yeah, let's get out of here, like a 6 hour takedown of Toy Story 4. Hello, I'm back. And it was really quite spectacular. It gets very emotional at the end, understandably.
Admiral Onasi wanted to speak with you, ma'am.
Very well, lead on. Anyway, it's very good, and it's absolutely worth watching if you haven't seen it. He also did a
it's a little beat up, but
3-part series on Incredibles 2, which was also another major disappointment, I thought.
Attacked the first time. This time you gave me a second chance. I owe you.
Is that all you wanted, Admiral?
I've read your records. How the
He's
Jedi
very red.
were doing what you believed. You wandered past the Outer Rim during your exile. I ask you, did you find any trace of Revan?
No, I didn't see him again.
I served with him like you did, and we had to part ways like you did.
Do you know where Revan went?
He said that there were places where he had to walk where I could not go, places where having allies or anyone he cared about would only place them in danger. It's been 4 years, and I still don't know what happened to him.
That's all? I kind of got the impression this was longer afterwards, but I suppose 4 years makes enough sense. You cannot give up hope.
He told me to stay here to try to keep the Republic strong, and that he would return. It was the hardest request I ever had to follow.
The Republic's strong. Why?
I don't know, but it was important to him. He said that he believed something had been behind the Mandalorian Wars. That it hadn't been the Mandalorians' choice to attack the Republic. Whatever it was, I think he went off to find it. To fight it.
And that we know, again, from the next game, from what should have been KOTOR 3, but will turn into the MMO, Knights of the Old Republic. We know that was the Sith Empire, with Emperor Vitiate, or Valkorion, or whatever you want to call him, on Dromund Kaas. Did you serve with Revan during the war?
It was near the end of the Jedi Civil War, when it seemed like we were going to lose everything. We met on a Republic warship called the Endar Spire. It was being attacked over Terrace, and the Sith had stormed the ship.
And then goes the
We
story of
saved the
KOTOR 1.
Republic. But it was like the war didn't end for him. He would keep remembering things that he'd done, and it kept driving him. And I think he finally remembered something terrible that he'd done during the Mandalorian Wars, and he went to put an end to it. He left a lot of people who cared about him behind. But I think he did it because he thought it was the right thing to do. But whatever he set out to do, I don't think he succeeded. And here you return, with his ship, without him.
Revan's ship?
Yes, wherever he went.
I did know that, I think.
Your ship's been there. If you return to that place, if you find some trace of Revan...
You want to tell me what I find? No, do you want me to tell you what I find?
No. Simply tell him that Admiral Onasi is following his orders. Safe journey, exile.
Did she know?
No, she didn't.
There are times I fear we shall never know where he left Karth, and I cannot live not knowing the answer. Why he sought to protect us.
He asked us to stay to keep the Republic safe. It was important to him. And after meeting the exile, I'm convinced that there are worse things to lose in the galaxy.
I mean, speak for yourself. He's not your husband or father of your child, but, you know. I think this played out of order again. Pretty sure that played out of order.
Going to lose their lives, like I lost my family in Malachor V.
And all the Jedi who followed Revan, the true Jedi, died at Malachor V.
We go now, my master, to that dark place which made you, where you gained your ship, your troops. Your ship, my prison, that you dragged from the gravity well at Malachor V.
Wish I'd never met her. Wish I'd died there. That the storms had dragged me down into Malachor V.
We will not surrender. We will not die, like we did on Malachor V.
Your command echoes still, General, and I obey, as I did at Malachor V. Now Malachor V comes to us, and I wish to face it this last time. You know where you must go. It calls to you still.
It is the heartbeat of the past.
And she must be stopped, there, now, or she will bring the screams of Malachor V to the galaxy, just as we carry the echo all this way. And she must be stopped.
Oop, okay. It's never been quite clear to me exactly what the mass shadow generator did. I assume it basically created an intense gravity well that tore all the ships in this vicinity apart, and the people on the surface. I'm not sure, though.
It has been some time.
You were a fool to return. I spared you once. I will not do so again.
Spare me? Ah, yes. No, you simply did not learn the lesson I sought to teach. That your strength is as meaningless as the strength of my hand.
Why have you returned?
Because now I understand why the exile did what she did. There is much to be done.
Yeah, we're not taking off from that too easily.
Master, she is here.
I know.
What is thy bidding, my master?
You are to do nothing. When she arrives, bring her before me.
She may not survive Malachor.
So touching. Can it be you still have feelings within that shell?
Master, what will you do to her?
You know what I shall do. You, who wear my teachings so well. I will break her. She is a blank slate upon which my teachings may be written, as you well know. Leave me. Await the arrival of the exile. When she comes, bring her before me.
All right. Okay, here we go. Alone. Oh boy. I mean, it's fine. Still. There's a lot of, this is very Scar's domain in The Lion King, isn't it? We'd be prepared. Storm beasts. Oh, remains of a ship. And core damage, minimal power. Still has some power, that's strange. Odd. Let's see. All right. Okay, this is going just fine. Oh, oops. Anyway, one of the takeaways from that from both of those video series was an emphasis on conveniences, plot conveniences and contrivances and that sort of thing. It actually hit really hard. Still out. So part of the point is that, and this is maybe my emphasis, my change of emphasis, is that a plot can be, in some cases, driven by convenience. I mean, convenience or coincidence or whatever. Even just looking further than KOTOR 2, there's the immediate coincidence and the convenience of the exile just so happens to come across the Ebon Hawk, Darth Revan's ship. That's wildly unlikely in the vast reaches of space. Now, in this setting, you have the additional get out of contrivance free card of well, it's the will of the Force. You don't really have that in a lot of other settings, but here maybe you can get away with it. But even setting that aside, it's different, I think, I would argue, when the initiating incident of a story is a kind of contrivance. Because that's honestly normal and quite expected. Most stories start with an odd coincidence, or something out of the ordinary happens, which is what starts a plot. Excuse me. That's that's where the story begins, so to speak, is with a coincidence. Something odd happens. An example of a kind of contrivance like this, or at least a plot coincidence like this, if we're going with Disney movies, because I think they provide good examples, both good and bad good examples of good examples, and examples of bad examples. An old favorite of mine, an old favorite Disney movie of mine, is 101 Dalmatians. And it absolutely starts off with a convenience, with a happy coincidence. That being Roger and Pongo seeing Perdita and what's her name? The human. Perdita's pet. Badly cozy on. I can't do anything about it. Oh, I have to go that way. I see. Okay. Alright, anyway. The odd coincidence that he happens to see them out their window when he never had before, apparently. That's just a little coincidence that sets off the entire plot happening. And I think that's perfectly acceptable. I don't think anyone should really have a problem with that, because it's the inciting incident. It's where the plot starts. It is what allows the story to happen. Ooh, for radiant crystal. Cool. A contrivance or convenience in the inciting incident, I think, is more or less fine from a storytelling standpoint. But contrivances and conveniences...
If the exile has come here, then she has not come alone.
Of course, apprentice. The Huntress is with the exile. She has a special talent for finding that which should remain lost. It also makes her difficult for me to sense, but not to a creature bred for such things.
Shall I send the assassins for her?
No, I have brought a beast to Malachor to deal with that one. We shall see if prey can become a predator. Her breaking shall be flesh and bone, or it shall be inside. If she survives, she will become stronger for it.
Great. Anhar's here, isn't he?
Well, here's a surprise. Yet another slice of galactic paradise. Why can't we ever go to Alderaan or Ithor or someplace without metal, jagged rocks, or packs of bloodthirsty beasts?
That's a good question. Anyway, so yeah, it's yep, it's Anhar, alright. I think that a plot contrivance or a convenience or whatever that significantly alters the situations in which characters find themselves, especially getting characters out of trouble, is Those are just mines. It's just straight up mines. Anyway, that is various sort of levels of less forgivable. And when I say various levels, I would say that, like, some instances, like the Pongo and Perdita one, is perfectly acceptable just because it's an inciting incident. It's how the plot starts, and that's all there is to it. It's fine. It's a weird coincidence. Coincidence that lets the rest of the plot happen. But on the other hand, you can have things that are varying degrees of, that, let's say, they interfere with the plot to varying degrees. An example of a bad one, that I think is still acceptable for the story would be from The Incredibles, the first Incredibles movie, where, if you remember Dash, when he's running away from all the guards on the secret island thing, and they're all in the little hover helicopter thingies. He's running away from them, and he runs off a cliff. And by running off a cliff, he basically would almost certainly die, because he just goes careening off a cliff at super speed. There's basically nothing he could do about that, except that he just so happened to run into and land on another guard's copter thingy. And so he just happens to land on one, manages to beat the guard up and take control of it. Which is mighty convenient, given the circumstances, because otherwise there's no way he would have gotten out of the situation. Wait, depths? I don't want to go there yet. But he got out of the situation, again, out of pure luck. If things had gone how he had, according to how he acted, he'd have been, I don't know about, maybe not dead, but certainly out of the fight, certainly badly injured. He would have needed help, needed rescuing. Now, I say that this one is kind of bad because it does majorly affect the plot. Like, Dash participating in the rest of the exchange, the rest of the action scene is absolutely critical. If he didn't participate in it, the action scene would go radically differently. And so I do think that it's absolutely critical to the plot. It's not like it's just a nitpick. It's not like it's something that doesn't matter to the story. It does make a huge difference. But despite it making a huge difference, the reason I think that that's somewhat acceptable is for two reasons. One, it was the reason Dash ran off the cliff was a mistake, not a choice, right? It was an accident. He didn't see the cliff. He was running. He did not see the cliff there. He ran over it, and as far as he knew, he was just about to plummet to his death. Then he just so happened to catch onto one of the guard copter thingies. Okay. So it was convenience, it was a contrivance, all that stuff. The other factor, I think, that is significant, to me at least, in terms of story writing, is that Dash is a kid. I mean, in addition to just being a child, literally being a child, he's also, like, his part in the story is the young... Let me turn my gain down slightly. The young, inexperienced kid. Just a tiny bit. There we go. And his whole thing is learning from his actions, learning from his successes, and learning from his failures. Now, one of the consequences of his failures would have been absolutely disastrous if he had tumbled off the cliff and potentially died. Of course, he couldn't have learned from it, and that would have been like stopping his arc mid-arc. You can't really have that. You have to contrive the story to make it work, to some degree. Then also him being a kid is also, I think, really significant because he's...
Hanhar! Oh, you have to be kidding me.
We adults... Oh, here we go. Grey-made female says you claim the name Jedi. Her words dishonor you, for she does not believe it. I do not believe it. You have always been prey, Mira. Weak, scared, always running, hesitant to kill. Uh-oh. Here on this graveyard planet, you have nowhere left to run. The eyes of Nar Shaddaa do not look here. What happens here shall... Oh, jeez. Run, pray, or fight me here. I can feel the rage of this planet pouring through me. It is nothing compared to the hate I have for you. I'm gonna level first. Got that. There we go. Point in stealth, why not? Better speed. What are my rockets?
That's another one for me. Yeah, with Dash being a kid, I think that actually makes a huge difference in terms of, jeez, not like this. Oh, not like this at all. There we go, I think I got him. That's another one for me.
There we go, I got him. Cannot be in your debt twice. Okay, tell me the life. Okay. Kill me and the life debt shall be settled. I cannot hold you to your... I cannot be in your debt twice. It will only be a second death to me. Whether you spare me or kill me, it is death. There's no need for this. You don't have to die. You don't owe me a life debt. I release you. Words will not break the shackles on my wrists. Words will not end the hatred I have for you. My hatred for you would drown the raging storm of this planet. It burns hotter than the hatred in the heart of the remaining woman, and greater than her feelings for the exile. You serve Kreia now. She's chained me with a life debt. She honors me by showing me no mercy, only hatred. She understands the heart of a warrior. In the heart of a slave? I'm no slave, I'm Hanar. Hanar was taken from Kashyyyk. Hanar put chains on those who chained him, guarded human lives in place of my kind. Lead me to Kreia, Hanar. If she's as powerful as you claim, then she'll destroy me and you will be free. Your words smell of truth. Your eyes show no deception. I will lead you to the Grey One, and she will end you, and my life debt to you both shall be no more. Whatever you say, but you walk ahead of me just the same. This is gonna end poorly. I have a bad feeling about letting him live, but okay. I mean, she can take it out pretty easily at this point, but... Anyway, so yeah, I think that, I think the case of, No, not that. Darn it. Wasted. The case of Dash is one of those where, yeah, there's a kind of contrivance, there's a bit of a convenience, but it's not that big a deal. It is significant to the plot. It's a real issue. It's not nothing. But I think it's perfectly acceptable in terms of how that event figures into the plot and all that. Oops. Now, if you compare this to, I think, what is honestly a relatively similar scenario, one that I've whined about before. If you look at in the Rings of Power, what is it, the end of the first episode or whenever it is, when Galadriel is sailing to Valinor, and if we ignore the stupidity of how they depict sailing to Valinor as this, like, entry into heaven thing, which is just way too allegorical for Tolkien. But ignoring that, Galadriel is literally thousands of miles away from the nearest shore she can land on. And yet she jumps off the boat and goes to swim back. Or literally thousands of miles. And through a plot contrivance of happening across Sauron and his little boat full of refugees that get eaten by a sea monster, because she runs into Sauron's little raft, she doesn't die in the middle of the ocean, but only because she happens to run across Sauron and his little raft, which she had no reason to think that was going to happen. That was purely a coincidence. So in a case like this, unlike Dash, who did not choose to put himself in a situation where he would likely die running off the cliff, Galadriel very intentionally placed herself in a situation where she had no hope of survival, as far as she knew. That being in the middle of the ocean, thousands of miles from the nearest shore. As far as she knew, she had no way of surviving that. And so her actions were, practically speaking, suicidal. Anything on this? Nothing. And so what we have there is this massive coincidence of Sauron's raft showing up, which saves her life. It prevents her from suffering the consequences of her actions, etc., etc. But this is way worse for the plot, because it's way worse for the character. Because Galadriel had to have been acting on the assumption that there would be no such raft coming to save her. That she would just have to swim thousands of miles or drown. And given that she can't swim thousands of miles, her assumption would have been that she was going to go drown. She was about to go die. So, excuse me. That is, I think, a coincidence that is far, far worse for the plot. Because of its implications for the characters. The same could go for negative coincidences as well. Coincidences that hinder the character's goal. At least under some circumstances. Like, if a character could anticipate the potential interruption of their goal, that's very different than if a character would reasonably have no idea. If they would have no idea, then it doesn't actually impact the character. The character. What impacts the character is their initial. Here we go. That's what I thought. Their initial choice. So going back to Disney, Pixar, in fact. This is something that what's his name? Again, link will be in the description. It's already in Discord under media. If you're looking in the Discord server. He points this out about Toy Story 4, where Buzz Lightyear, who is horrifically character assassinated in Toy Story 4, it's got a large section on it. My God, is it thorough and brilliant. Lemon honey tea. Need this. It points out that Buzz is trying to get to the highway to rendezvous with Woody and Forky. And in order to do that, he basically slingshots himself off of a carnival ride. And he starts flying through the air to go to a carnival. Or to nearer to the highway, over the carnival. But contrary to his plan, another carnival ride comes up and knocks him out of the air. He runs into that instead. Okay, fine. First of all, odd that he survives that. He's flying through the air with an incredible speed. And it's incredibly dangerous. And he is a plastic toy. So he shouldn't survive it, but he does. It's fine. Fine. Somehow he's bouncing around, manages to cushion his fall. However, he was flying through the air already. Before he was flying through the air. Literally flying. Like, wings extended. He was flying probably, I don't know, a couple 100 feet at least. Probably close to 100 yards, probably close to a football field. Flying this distance, whatever he hit with how fast he had to be flung, he was going to be pulverized. If he hit the ground, he wasn't gonna make that. There's no way he was gonna survive that. So why I point this out is that the carnival ride stopping him partway through was a weird contrivance. It was a plot contrivance. It was a weird coincidence that he had no way of anticipating. And one, it had the major effect of him not splattering against the ground and dying. Then also the major effect that he was able to find Woody and Forky because he didn't get all the way to the highway. He found them, well, Woody and Peep, at least, when they were by the antique shop. Now, if he had not gotten hit with this random carnival ride, if his plan had gone according to plan, he never would have found them. And there's a very good chance that he would have splattered against the ground and died. Blaster burns. Heavy repeating blaster rifle. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, who could be using a heavy repeating blaster rifle here? That's very odd. Because it sure wasn't Kreia. Here we go. Oh. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that.
I say we fire a rocket at her right now and blow her screaming, burning body into the heart of this planet.
It wouldn't work. If there were other distractions, maybe. If she wasn't telepathic, maybe. If you want to kill her like that, you need something else to occupy her attention. Otherwise, you might just wound her, and then we'd all be in trouble.
This battle will not be decided by weapons.
You are wrong. Manipulation is Krea's strength, not battle. We have a chance. We just have to figure out how to make use of it.
I don't like the rocket idea. I've heard worse ideas. What are you doing here?
If you are watching this, then what the General suspected was true. The Sith are striking from the graveyard of Malachor V. The ship the Sith Lord was on was one of the vessels damaged in that final battle. If you reach Malachor's surface, the mass shadow generator can be undone, provided there are enough vessels intact within the orbiting debris or buried in the planet's surface. Use the sequence I am unlocking in your memory banks on the engine core of any vessel you encounter on Malachor. If my calculations are correct, 4 vessels should be enough to power up the mass shadow generator and undo the damage that was done in Malachor V, the damage I did. Once the sequence has begun, it cannot be stopped. So make sure the General is off the planet before triggering the sequence. Otherwise, there will be no retreat. I know your weapon systems are minimal, and I don't know what awaits you on Malachor's surface. Try to avoid contact with any potential threats. Follow your programming.
Interesting. Malachor will begin to drift apart. You have no offensive weapons. If you're destroyed, you'll fail your mission. Travel across the planet as fast as you can to hit each of them in an amount of time. Quick save. Alright, where are they? Wow, good thing I went through here and killed all of the storm beasts. Your sequence. Over there. Oh, that's far. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, I'm very glad I killed all of the storm beasts on my way through. I don't need that. Alright, though. Enter. 51%. Now, when it says undo the damage to Malachor V, I assume that just means, like, turn off the mass shadow generator and... that's not good. And the planet will just fall apart. I mean, undoing the damage is not, at this point, all that feasible, but 73. I mean, it's not like it's going to undo the damage in terms of, like, unkilling all the people that were killed, or turning the tide of the battle. or even making Malachor in any way habitable again, but you know, it's something. At the very least, we won't have this mass shadow thing going on. %.
If you are hearing this, then the sequence has been completed. When active, it will destroy Malachor. Again, I have one last command for you. You must remain behind and ensure that the sequence fires properly once the General gives the command. If not, then all we have fought for has been for nothing. You have done all I asked, all you were built for, and for that, I thank you.
Oh?
Touching. The probability of the Iridonian installing trigger commands within your core was high. I see the probabilities have played out. Of course, the probability that I would do the same is equally high. Your inability to move right now is evidence of that. If the General issues the command, only I will be here to receive it. You realize I cannot permit you or the Exile to activate the mass shadow generator here on Malachor. In that, your programming and mine conflict.
Why not?
Since you have no offensive weaponry to speak of, the probability of your programming overriding mine is low. You must understand that the General would not wish the relics or the Sith strength here on Malachor to be compromised. Their presence is needed to stabilize the galaxy. Without them, the galaxy would be reduced to anarchy within years. And if there is anything I can't stand, it's an untidy galaxy. So, let us wait here, you and I, for the General's orders and calculate the probable fate of the galaxy.
Correction. One could rust listening to your speeches, Fat One. Perhaps it is the large unwieldy vocabulator within your moon-sized frame that prevents your calculations from taking me into account. And while I find this small droid annoying in the extreme, I find my urge to shoot you takes a higher priority.
Unfortunately for you, I have arranged for friends to meet me here, and you seem to have brought none of your own. Stop him.
Unexpected correction. We cannot harm that unit. It is a violation of our self-preservation programming. Statement. As always, Fat One, you have miscalculated.
An
Brilliant.
unfortunate oversight.
Ridiculously brilliant.
Statement. I understand. Assassination protocols activated. Let us see what you have in your arsenal, Fat One.
All I wished was to fulfill my programming. Either way, the Republic is the...
Observation. I thought he would never die.
Well, there goes the exchange. Oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. So what do we
We've
do
come a
about that?
long way, Kreia. Don't bother getting up.
Ah, the Huntress. To come alone, you are braver than I thought.
She is not alone. We stand with her.
And with her, stand all the Jedi.
And now I come in saying something suitably heroic.
I wish I'd equipped their
Children
lightsabers.
with lightsabers, but not Jedi, I think.
I wish I'd
Come
equipped their
close.
lightsabers.
Let me look upon you and see what the Exile's teaching has forged. An assassin, wasted pawn of the Republic, a blinded slave, and a fool. Which of you wishes to try yourselves against me? As you can see, I am unarmed. You, perhaps, You are a wasted pawn of the Republic, young one. You could have been so much more, even with your wide-eyed innocence, your naive love for others. Think before you throw away your life for her. Think of everything you will lose by dying. Your lusts unfulfilled, a dance unfinished, a love requited.
Oh, come now.
Before you give it up so quickly. And you, blind one, you have hungered to strike me down ever since you saw the bond the exile and I share. Can you feel the force running through me, even past the veil, past your blooded eyes? You know you cannot win.
The force runs strong within you, Treya. But in the howling of a storm, it is difficult to hear the whisper of the blade. You have forever been the blind one. You were given a gift few are ever given. And yet you let your gift of sight warp you, twist.
You think your existence under your lord was torture, Miraluka? I will make you see. An assassin.
Oh, come on, Atton. Don't run away. Oh. My dude.
And I get the fool.
Funny. That's just what I was thinking.
Okay, so first of all, let's level up a little bit. No. Alright, we have dueling already all the way up. Let's go critical strike. Let's just get critical strike really good. Master speed. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Oh boy.
Running away? I'm not done with you yet.
Nor are you. I will remake you.
Oh no.
So when I look upon you, it shall be like a mirror. Then I shall let you die.
There's nothing worse you can do to me. Take your time.
Uh-oh. I mean, he did run away. Maybe we can do something about that. Like, I'm fairly confident that the exile can be him.
When the exile enters the Treyas Academy, she will be faced with a choice. One path, assuming she survives, will allow her to save her friends, but she shall be the weaker for it. The other route will lead her directly to this place, through the ones that have hounded her steps from the beginning, and she shall have her vengeance. Show her every respect when she arrives in these halls, Lord Scion. This I command you.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is not really a problem. More lightsabers. Now, here at the end, I get more lightsabers. Of course. I believe the intention is that you can have your whole crew equipped with lightsabers, but I'm not doing that yet. Some of them are just really good with blasters. Like Mira. Mira is really good with blaster. Hey, stop it. There we go. Wait, I don't know which way to go. Uh-oh. I'm gonna go with a way that didn't have all the Sith assassins in the hopes that that's not the way through all of the... Oh, there's more. Just kidding. I was hoping this was not the one that was being referred to with, and she will go have her vengeance. Alright, all taken care of. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Better shield. And done. Alright. There we go. Okay, wow. Ouchies. Here we go. Alright. Now we're in a roll. Alright. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. What's this? Atreus Crescent. Jolie's robe, another one of these. Atreus Crescent. A friend. That was it. Not a great use of power, but it's fine. Atreus Crescent. Is that where I want to go? I'm genuinely unsure. Let them handle that for a bit. I'm gonna leave. Maybe come back, who knows. Let's try the other way. I have a feeling that Atreus Crescent is just going to lead me straight to Darth Treya. That's not where I want to go. Oh, darn it. Why did I do that? I meant to do stasis field, not suggestion. Alright, whatever. It'll be fine. There's one guy in this hallway, it'll be alright. Oh, there's more than one. Oh, wait. Alright, there we go. Alright. I had to leave him at full health. I had to. Didn't do much. And let's keep going. Reyes Proving Grounds. I gotta look it up. Which is it? The Proving Grounds or the Crescent? Trying to figure this out. Proving Grounds if you want to save your friends. That's this side, right? Yeah. All right. All right, let's do it. That's the opposite of what I thought. So, okay, let's do it anyway. God, I have... Oh boy. That worked. Yeah, this is straightforward. Armor I'm not going to use. Sith Marauder. Oh, hello. How did that happen? Oh my god, when did it autosave? Okay, the previous room. That's fine, but... Oh my god. Those blasters are ripping me to pieces. How can that be allowed to happen? Huh. Alright, alright. Wait, no. No. Ow, 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 ow. Actually, you know what? You. Kill the beds. That'll do. Oof, that was a nasty surprise in there. Blasters that can actually hit me. I don't like it when blasters can actually hit me. A quick save again. Alright. Sith Marauders will always bring up memories of my old Star Wars LARPing days. There was a while I played a Sith in our LARP, and the Marauders were basically just the generic Sith faction warrior class. And like most RPGs, especially most RPG parties, the Marauders on our faction, the Sith faction, were let me put it this way. Most of them had lower IQs than their lightsabers. So they were the big ball of meat-headed energy to throw at any problem. And hope that the problem got solved. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. You. Heal your friends for me, please. Ooh, hello. I don't like that. You got a nice robe and everything, man. Yeah, the Sith Marauders were not intelligent at all. To the point where they basically developed their own idiot theme song, which was "Go Go Sith Marauders" to the Power Rangers theme jingle, and they would chant as they would charge into. I hesitate to even say battle. Really, just charging into anything. Really, anything that either got in their way or sometimes things that didn't get in their way. They just liked charging. They really were basically just a bag of hammers. Let them deal with that. Anyway, because of that, I can take absolutely no Sith Marauder the least bit seriously. Or really anything. Any RPG class that goes by the name Marauder. Really just can't take it seriously. Not at all. Yeah. Hmm. Look at lightsabers. No. No, nothing I can really do here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I thought those were the cells. There I go being dumb. Well, if we learned anything from Order 66, 3,000 years from now, it's that there is, in fact, a limited number of blaster bolts that a given Jedi can deflect at any given moment. And that was close to it. That was close to the limit, I think. I was getting there. Now what? Is that another real cell block this time? Yeah, real cell block. Real empty cell block. Come on, what the heck? Now, let me check that one first. Kill your apprentices for me, thanks. Cool, bye. Hey, hey, hey. I'll just leave him in there, it's fine, he's confused. Locked. 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 I'm guessing they're all going to be locked, but I want to try them. I don't think I have this many friends. What? You could do that? You can just kill your party members here. What the hell? No, absolutely. Release them.
The Sith must be stopped. If they destroy the Jedi, the Republic will fall and my people will be eradicated or enslaved.
I agree. I know, Mandalore, I need your expertise of Malachor to help my friends leave this place.
I never went to the surface, only the sky above it.
You've never been here before.
The world is taboo to Mandalorians. We only came here when the Republic fleet gathered, and we knew it was our only chance to stop them.
You're here now, and I need you to help everyone get to safety.
I can't say I'm happy to be back here, but I believe we can do what must be done.
Oh, by the way, there's a Sith Lord chilling over there. Go, maybe go take care of him. If not, I'll take care of it. It's fine. Okay, guess I'll take care of it. Really, really ought to. Really ought to take care of that. That. Yeah, okay. Kind of how I thought that would go. Another Thon's robe. Keep getting redundant copies of one-time legendary items. Oh, geez. I don't really care for how far they replaced parts. Wait. Damn it, wrong thing. Is this place? I mean, I know what this place is, technically. But this is Treya's Academy, I suppose. Their evil, spooky, dark side Sith Academy. Of course, how this place got built is a frickin' mystery. Kill those dudes for me. Sheesh. Oh my god. Really? Though that was just stupid. That was all my fault. That was unintelligent of me. Oh man, I'm gonna have to quick save some more. More than I have been. Honestly, it's a little bit my fault for not taking Sith Marauder seriously. You know, like I said, I don't. Just waiting for you. Bring it on. Oh crap, wrong thing. I meant to do that. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's go. There we go. I'm going to start being a little more careful. And then also start quick saving a little bit more. How many hits is that anyway? I think it's 6. There we go. All right. And once again, we are approaching the number of blaster bolts that a single Jedi can handle at a time. Okay, so Save again. That's right, this is the one with nothing. Okay. Let him out.
The Sith must be stopped. If
Yes, I know. Get my friends
I
out though,
never
please.
the word
Wait, no? Hope everyone gets
I
safety,
can't
please. Thanks, Mandalore. See you all somewhere. I'd say back at the ship, but I don't think that's gonna go well. Alright. There's all our friendos. They're all taken care of. Hmm. At least I am by far powerful enough at this point to even hope to solo this section. I do really like the power scaling in this game. It's ridiculously high, but in a pretty fun way. Save again, just in case. This next room was where I had the trouble, wasn't it? That was mostly because I was stupid. Man, the stun lock combo I have on this build is kind of, it almost feels like cheating. Hey WizKid, welcome. 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 Good evening. As I mentioned before in the Discord and last week, I think, I hopefully will like to see you on next week. We're gonna chat about this game and about Walter V's ideas of this game and what it has to do with the hero's journey, and as a sort of subversion of the hero's journey, what is happening here. Anyway, you kill your friend, please. Thanks. Because I do think that he's largely right, that this game does a pretty good job of subverting the hero's journey. Hey, no worries, WizKid. I know you were actually busy with, like... Oh, crap. Why'd I do that again? With, like, actual life stuff. Which is way more important than hanging out on a live stream. Or even more important than stuff like D&D. Which... Now, that's actually another thing. I was just talking about LARP. We had, like, a #1 rule when we were LARPing was real life comes first. So we played every Friday night. But what that meant really was, if you had something Friday night and you couldn't be there, then... Jesus, why did I do that? I almost did a stupid thing. You were expected not to be there. Like, if you were blowing something off, people would basically just tell you, get the hell out, go home. Don't be dumb. Oh, that's a lot. You can help me. And then... frag grenade. Another one. For good measure. Let's just toss some grenades in here. Wow, that does nothing. Alright, never mind. This is so stupid. Okay, wow, that was awful. Sheesh. Okay. Oops. Alright, let's see. Wizard says voice gaps exactly the same way. Life comes first. One way to diagnose a shitty tabletop RPG group is when people get all like indignant when someone skips. Yeah, I mean, I get disappointed, to be sure. Like, especially if it means that we're like, especially if it's something where like I was planning something major for a particular character and that player can't make it or whatever. That's disappointing. But it's not like it's something I get mad about. Actually, like, a good example of that was last week in our Star Wars tabletop. I was really disappointed we weren't playing last Wednesday. I know, like, Christmas Wednesday, but still. I was pretty disappointed. We maybe would have, because three out of the 4 of us, like, what? 2 out of the 3 players, so could have made it. No, 3 out of the 4 players could have made it. But the one who couldn't, it was a major character thing for his character that week. So I definitely didn't want to skip out. I didn't want to have a session with him not there when it was going to be a big thing for gambling. That's I don't actually remember if he's been anything like a regular chatter in here. Anyway. Anyway. But yeah, it's it can be disappointing because that basically just means that we're off this week, and next week we're going to be picking up with a big important thing with I mean, it's not huge, but a relatively important thing for a character. But yeah, there's a big difference between me being like disappointed that we can't do the cool thing and me being like mad at that player for doing whatever it is that he needed to do, which, his business. I know, but not in here kind of thing. So, no, it's not like that's something that I would ever get mad about, Wiskin says, yeah, I felt really bad with the other week when you were disappointed they couldn't make it. Oh yeah, because I had it. Actually, let me know about that sometime this week. We can see if Sedwin would have had any questions for the Stone of Galore. We found that the spooky rock, and we found out that it is an aboleth. Oh, I should have said spoiler warning. If anyone winds up playing, I just won't even say what adventure module it is, so you just don't get a spoiler on that. But it's an aboleth, and it has a bunch of it has a bunch of spooky arcane knowledge, and you can ask it spooky arcane questions. If you had any particular questions for the damn thing, if Sedwin would, let me know. Oh, it did have a question about spooky eyes. That's separate. Disassembled. Everyone stop it! Stop shooting me! It says, speaking of LARP, my lady friend didn't know what it was until I explained it to her the other day. It's fun, that's what it is. It was actually like wildly popular while I was in undergrad. Because I was in undergrad like in the early 2010s. When it was cool to have fun, is how I usually put it. Nowadays, we've gotten back into that like early noughties through the 90s kind of tendency of being too cool and aloof to be goofing off and having a chill old time. There was a while there when it was cool to just like run around and have a good time, You handle that. I'll just wait over here for you. I'll dig around in this box while you stab the stun guy. Uh-oh, here he comes. Oh, would it matter once you... So you don't necessarily lose all memory. How that works is it is a saving throw. And if you make it once, that means you remember it. So you make a saving throw when you unattune from it. And you lose all memory of the conversation and all memory of having had the thing. So if you make the save even one time, that means that it is. That means that now you retroactively remember all of the conversations. So it still could be useful. That's what happened with Orin, and I think Arthur too. I mean, besides, there's also the more mundane ways of getting yourself to remember things that you magically forget, like writing things down. Oh, also, it blabbed on Sedwin about that thing that some people have holes in their memory about. So, some of the party knows about that now. You know, the thing with the guy. Anyway. Yeah, Wiskid said if I had had a normal undergraduate career, I probably would have gotten into it. But unfortunately, everyone in my cohort goes to school to myopically pursue careers and become indoctrinated. So, he meaning the stone, the aboleth. It spilled the beans about not about Sedwin in particular. Don't worry, but about the whole situation about everyone losing their memory about the that one guy.
You should not have come to Malachor. She will break you. Your mind, your body, you will be lost. Return to the surface.
It's an aboleth. It does definitely enjoy
as it claimed
interparty
the other
conflicts.
Jedi. There is no reason for you to suffer at her hands.
Conflict. That's basically its attitude. But in a Hermaeus Mora voice that I can't do right now at all. Yeah, no, I don't think that I don't even know necessarily whether it was your cohort that was they don't know necessarily, but deduction, you know? They could figure it out, you never know. Anyway, it's a thing that can come up. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just because, like, when I was an undergrad, another super big thing that was cool, basically all across the country, was humans versus zombies. Like, running around for a week straight, every night, shooting Nerf blasters at each other and shouting for brains and trying to tag people and turn them into zombies. It was so fun. But nowadays, everyone would be like, I don't want to, like, you know, that seems kind of like, nah, I don't want to do that sort of thing. It seems kind of, annoying. Californian. Kids just don't like having fun anymore, man. I don't like it. Sad stone boy Sith Lord. Yeah. He's a much more interesting character in the last time you interact with him than he ever was throughout the rest of the game. They pack way too much of his characterization in right at the end, and I feel like that's to the detriment of the writing. Why are you telling me this?
You and her are alike, yet different in all the ways that matter.
I love his
voice.
voice,
I hate you as I hate her. I hate you because you crawl within my head as she does. But your presence holds no thoughts, no teachings. You are just there, unspoken. I hate you because you are beautiful to me, and in that weakness lies death. Perhaps in that weakness is the death of my master as well.
I forget what channel it was. There's one of those Star Wars lore channels that goes into detail on this theory that Scion may have actually been redeemed out of his love for the exile. That she pulled him back to the light before he let go of his darkness and all that. See if I can find the video and I'll put it in the description after we're done. But it was great. It's a cool theory, and I almost buy it. I don't know. It seems a little bit creepy, but nice. Wiskid says, I get the feeling that when you went to college, was the last hurrah of colleges allowing themselves to be juvenile. It wasn't a last hurrah. It was an interim hurrah. Because the early noughties, the like 90s and early noughties were not anything like that at all. The last time colleges were juvenile was in the 80s. Like from people I talked to who are a bit older, it was not like this at all. People would not be running around hitting each other with wacky bats. All night. Like, no, you just would not have done that in the 90s and early 90s. There's this weird little stage, which was late noughties through maybe mid onesies, where it was cool to go be goofy and have fun. Then of course it fell apart, in part because all of those kinds of LARPs and stuff tend to collapse under themselves, mostly under the weight of their own drama and degeneracy, but also just because the culture shifted away from that sort of thing. If you really want a perfect example of the kind of attitude that was super prevalent, especially in like the HVZ community, excuse me, there's a YouTube channel who does Nerf reviews, called Coop772, and his attitude, even to this day, is very much like the attitude of everybody I used to play HVZ with. In a good way, not in a cringe way, and not really in a like a toxic way, if you want to call it that, but in a kind of unbridled enthusiasm for childishness. It was great, wonderful. Oh no, not the 4-hour deep dive on Kreia. God. You know how much I would love to do honestly, I might just do a response video on the Philosophy of Kreia video. I might need to do a response video on that at some point soon. I couldn't do a standard, like, watch and reply, like EFAP style reply to that one. It's just too damn long. But I could do a formatted response video to it, maybe. I'll think about it. I'll really think about it. I've been talking about the Philosophy of Kreia a lot throughout this playthrough, and let me just say, she is evil. Like, and also, like, Shadow the Hedgehog levels of edgy. WizKid says, yeah, well, they attract weirdos who are on the fringes, and the culture caters to the fringes, so what else would happen? That's true. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of overlap between tabletop RPG communities, LARPing communities, the Renaissance Fair communities, and the wild sexual degenerates. I always used to joke, only half joking, that it would probably be easier to schedule an orgy than to schedule an actual D&D game with a lot of these people. Scion, we need not battle. You've been a presence in my mind as well.
Then turn from this place. Do not go to her. Preserve yourself.
You've eroded Scion's will. Reducing his will saves constitution and wisdom.
You are strong.
Cool.
I cannot see as she does, but I know that in time you shall surpass her power. But not here. Not in this place.
Let us end this. I bear no hatred for you, but I must pass.
I am ready for you, exile. I have waited years to see the last of the Jedi fall before me. Only one may serve my master.
I won't be serving her. Oh wait, I can equip a shield, can't I? What's this? Yeah, sure, I'll use that. Oh, it's not a use thing. Ooh, it just adds to my saves. That's cool. Nah. There we go. That was insane damage. Oh my god.
Now you realize the true power of the dark side. As long as the dark places of this world flow through the cracks of my flesh, I cannot be killed.
Wizkid asks, what game are you going to look at after KOTOR? I'm thinking of. I'm choosing between a few. Right now, I'm leaning towards Mass Effect Andromeda. I want to come back to the Mass Effect series, and I want to give it an Andromeda a good chance. I actually really liked the game. Obviously, it had its problems, but I liked it a good deal. I think it didn't get a fair shake, mostly just because it was not released in a good enough condition to be released in. It was funny because it was released at about the same time as No Man's Sky, and both of those games were just pretty atrocious on release. And No Man's Sky got a lot more care in its fixing. It needed more, but it got a lot more care in its fixing than Andromeda did. But a lot of the fixes really were implemented and patched out, and the game is much better than it was on release. So I'm thinking about playing Andromeda. The other options are sticking with Star Wars. I've been thinking about Battlefront 2 2017, playing the storyline. I've been thinking about playing Jedi Fallen Order. That's an option. It's on the table. I've even been thinking about, I'm kind of leaning away from this one just because it might be overly complicated, but I've been thinking about playing through one or more of the class storylines in the MMO, The Old Republic. I still have my old account and all my gear and stuff like that. I can move over to a new character. So that might be pretty cool. Oh yeah, and people were so pissed about Mass Effect 3's endings. That's true. I wasn't. I honestly just think that, again, I'll link. I've talked about this before in that video series, but I'll link a one nice little summary video from Space Doc. I think it's the channel. I think the channel's Space Doc, which argues that the ending of Mass Effect 3, specifically the Destroy ending, is the perfect ending to the series, or at least to the trilogy, and that that the other endings are there to tempt you away from the correct ending, basically. That Destroy is correct. That's the right ending. And doing it is the perfect way to encapsulate, first of all, the character of Commander Shepard, but then also the sort of the narrative arc of the games as a whole. So, anyway. Yeah, Wizkid, I think you're right. Honestly, Wizkid says, honestly, I don't think mainstream gaming discourse will ever shift its opinion on it. That's true, and it's disappointing. I honestly really like the ending of Mass Effect 3, and I'm not going to budge on that. I really think it's good. There were problems, again, obviously. The extended cut did a lot to help, but maybe not enough. Too little, too late. But I really do think that the Destroy ending is just perfect. Absolutely perfect resolution. You'd love to see SOTOR or Fallen Order. I'll keep that in mind. I've already got one vote for Andromeda, and I've been missing it, really. I haven't played Andromeda in like 2 or 3 years, and it's a damn good game. The gameplay is phenomenal. I really enjoy the gameplay. The only debate I'd really have is I'd obviously be playing Scott, not Sarah, the male writer, because the voice actor for him is just miles better. It's not even a contest like it is for the Mass Effect trilogy. There, it's really a toss-up, but this one, Scott's is just way better. The only real thing I'd be wondering is whether I should just do New Game Plus, so I basically can just allocate what I have a bajillion points to allocate wherever I want as I go forward, or if I should just New Game start fresh, 0 points, a squishy little Scott Ryder who's bad at everything to start with. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll think about it. An option. I really would like to play SOTOR. Of the storylines, I think the one that ties in best to this is the Jedi Knight storyline. But it's also one of my least favorite classes to play. So, I mean, it was, 4 to 6 years ago, last time I really played the thing. But yeah, the last time I really played the game with any like real dedication was like right before Saoirse was born. So it was a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still debating. Wizkid says Andromeda could be a cool tool. I'm not a huge into Mass Effect in general. So I never got the wave of hate other game made poor, other than game made poorly, which it sure was. That's true. But... Excuse me. The game made poorly thing was just bad. The whole my face is tired. Them actually putting in voice lines to excuse the poor animation is just awful. I mean, part of it is, I get the whole, so the voices, the facial animations they did procedurally based on the sounds, which works mostly. It usually takes some hand tweaking, which they didn't put enough effort into. But it means you can have tons more voice lines going on without as much effort into it, which was great. It actually really helped. But the other problem, the bigger problem, is the absolute lack of body language throughout most of the conversations. Everyone walks face to face with their hands down by their sides. Which is just so radically different. If you look back over the Mass Effect trilogy, everyone is animated, just talking like this, using their hands. Everyone's Italian for some reason. It's great. It's just so engrossing compared to it's not the, I'm telling you, it's not the lack of facial animation, it's the lack of body animation in the conversations. There was not much they could do about that procedurally. Anyway, so to answer the question earlier, Darth Sion is held together, like physically held together, by his hatred, his pain, and the dark side of the Force. He is falling apart at the seams, but it is the dark side of the Force and his hatred and his pain that is holding his body and his soul, really, together. Otherwise, he would just disintegrate. And so basically, you just have to talk him down. You have to get him to give up. That's basically the only way at this point. Which is cool. I mean, that's a really cool way of ending this kind of battle. And so, this battle was never about the flesh, it was about belief. Ah, hello. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Nope. Bad. That's bad. That's real bad. Where is he? Stop it! Stop doing the Force thing. Ow. Okay, the whirlwind technique is working really well.
You're strong. As strong as I had believed. But she knows you cannot defeat me. Surrender now. Return to the surface of Malachor. Do not force me to destroy you.
Kreia respects one who can turn away from power, Sion, not one who's a slave to it.
There is no life without the Force. The Force is a blade. Without it, one is defenseless.
The Force is only a part of what life is, Sion. You feel it, but do not understand it.
The Force is pain. The Force is focus. The Force is that which drives the strong and kills the weak. I shall teach you this, and in so doing spare you the pain that awaits.
Surrender now, Sion. I don't want to kill you.
If you will not leave this place, Then I cannot allow you to pass. If you go before her, you will be broken. If killing you will spare you what lies ahead, then kill you I must.
Kinda love that he's Space Welsh. No.
If I die here, then you will have sealed your fate.
Scion, even should you beat me, Kreia has you marked for death. You know this.
There is truth in your words, but there is nothing left for me except my master.
You've eroded Scion's will, reducing his will saves constitution to wisdom.
I fight because it is the power that the Force fills me with. To survive, to inflict the pain on others. I can die 100 times exile and still I will rise again as strong as before. I will not fall. I cannot die.
Excuse me again. You have already been defeated, Scion. Surrender and I will spare you.
Why? Why did she choose you? What makes you able to defeat me? Defeat me here?
You know, you don't often find a Welsh villain. An odd accent for a villain. I like it. Like I said, I really like it. Between the voice and the voice effects, it's really cool. Because I was able to turn away from it, and you could not. Which is dumb, because that's all, like, Kreia philosophy, but fine, whatever.
It is not possible to walk away from such things unscarred. To keep living when the universe dies around you.
To face death and keep standing, it leaves scars, yes, but it leaves room to heal.
The Force is who I am. The dark side fills me. It is what I am.
And Kreia hates the Force, even as she wields it. If the Force is what you are, then that is what she despises. This kid says it's a shame that the primary canon didn't go the KOTOR route, because it really goes in a lot of cool directions. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of missteps about the primary canon. We can talk about it endlessly. Oh, speaking of, though, like, one of the only new canon stuff that I've really been genuinely liking has been Andor. So far, I've only seen, like, the first four episodes or so. It's been really good. It's very slow. It is very slow. What everybody says about the pacing is true, but I love it. I'm not bored. If you have an attention span that's longer than what belongs on TikTok, I think you'll be fine. But the most of the viewing audience has their attention spans ruined by TikTok, so maybe not. I've been really enjoying it. It's very much like reading it's like reading one of the old EU novels. It's really good. Very, very good. Oh boy. Wizkid says, I was trying to explain Kreia autism to my mom yesterday, and I basically equated her hate of the Force, cringe atheism, wanting to kill God. I'm curious your take on that. Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely right. Oh gosh, was it last week I was talking a lot about this? That Kreia is basically a sort of a complement to something like Sartrean existentialism. Maybe with a little bit in Nietzschean nihilism, but not so much. A little bit of sort of Camus' absurdism, but really it's Sartrean existentialism. Because she goes off of this idea that that Sartre has, that if God exists, then I cannot be free, but I am free, and so God must not exist. She takes this in a different direction. She says, if the Force exists, then I am not free. I will to be free, and so I must destroy the Force. It's a kind of active rather than propositional existentialism. It is my existence precedes the will of the Force for me, which is what ordinarily would determine my essence. I think that a lot of people say that she's basically a Nietzschean nihilist, which I don't think that's quite the case. There are elements of that, right? The overcoming adversity and all that stuff. There's elements there, fine. There's elements of sort of Ayn Randian objectivism, stuff like the denial of altruism and all that, but that's just Sith philosophy in general, so I don't think that's really key. I really do think it's the existentialism. I think that she is more than anything an existentialist. The problem is that she's an existentialist in the same way that, like, a 14-year-old who read, like, a synopsis of Sartre and a little bit of Nietzsche while reading Ayn Rand at some point is a nihilistic existentialist. She's mostly edgy for the sake of being edgy. Nothing matters and I hate everything, but also I'm a raging narcissist. Kreia, probably. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, sorry.
Nothing matters and I hate everything, but I'm also a raging narcissist.
There, that's my Kreia voice. It's pretty good. It helps that I've been coughing my lungs out the days. It is the truth, Scion. You feel it. Let go. It is not such a terrible thing.
Kreia, she will try to break you, to teach you how far someone can fall. Her weakness is you, as you are mine. I am glad to leave this place, at last.
Achievement, pain relief. Oh, Scion. Another ultimate pearl. A lightsaber. Wait, where am I supposed to go? Raise core, I guess? Yeah, honestly, Friday was not the worst of it. Saturday wasn't even the worst of it. The worst of it was yesterday and today. Erica's worse. Erica was, well, she was probably at her worst yesterday rather than today. Still pretty bad though. Yeah. Let's do a nice little save here. Yeah, it's one of those like deep in your lung kind of coughs that just won't leave. Been a few days. It's nothing I haven't dealt with before, really. It's just irritating. That's all.
At last you have arrived. Is Malachor as you remember?
Malachor has not changed. Only you have.
Indeed. Perhaps it is merely your perceptions of me that have changed. It is strange that you believe Malachor has not. But it has always been timeless to you, this place, and words have always been inadequate for the horrors that took place here.
This academy won't last, Kreia. I can activate the mass shadow generator again.
More talk of machines and threats. If you would end Malachor, then do it. But it will not be a victory for you. And of course you must be willing to die. To kill us all. And your friends. You may hold Malachor in your grasp, but I hold the answers to your past and future in mine. Would you destroy us both before learning them? If so, then do it, for you have already failed me.
You were manipulating me all along.
Yes, always. From the moment you awoke, I have used you. I have used you so that you might become strong, stronger than I. I used your death to deceive the Sith, to make them believe they had won, so they would turn on each other.
And so you used me to get revenge on Scion and the others.
I used you to keep the Lords of the Sith from condemning the galaxy to death with their power unchecked. I used you to lure them to Telos, where they could be at last fought and killed. I used you to reveal Atris's corruption so that her teaching could be ended before it began. I used you to gather the Jedi so they could be destroyed, and I used you to make those who wounded me reveal themselves so they could be killed by the Republic.
Why did you destroy Atris?
I never destroyed Atris. She had destroyed herself. I merely stripped away the illusion and brought her truth.
No.
Her teachings could not be allowed to continue, and like Malachor, she was part of your past, unresolved. She needed to be something you could confront and defeat one last time. It was part of your training, part of what was needed to make you complete. And there must always be a Darth Treya. The galaxy needs its betrayers, especially in the times to come. She loved you, you know, as one loves a champion. You were all that she could not be.
Yeah, as I discussed last time, that conversation that Treya had with Atris was absolutely and undoubtedly the last step that pushed her to the dark side. It was not just revealing who she had been all along, it was very much the last step that pushed her over the edge. So again, she's being disingenuous here. You destroyed her and you'll answer for it.
Of course. Let us speak no more of such things. We shall let the dead lie, as the dead lie upon Malachor.
It's interesting that Kreia is the penultimate boss and Nihilus is the final boss. And she's really the true villain of the story. Wait, no. Nihilus is... We beat Nihilus already. She's the ultimate. She's the end boss. Nihilus is already defeated. So no, it lines up right. Why have you done this?
It is said that the Force has a will. It has a destiny for us all. I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me, because I hate the Force. I hate that it seems to have a will, that it would control us to achieve some measure of balance when countless lives are lost. But in you, I see the potential to see the Force die, to turn away from its will, and that is what pleases me. You are beautiful to me, Exile. A dead spot in the Force, an emptiness in which its will might be denied.
It's like... kind of like an existentialist. But more so, more fundamentally, it's simply the anti-essentialist. So this reminds me of people who deny, so vehemently deny, fundamental things about being. Who think that reality, by being objective, is a kind of imposition upon them. And so they hate it. And so they hate reality, and therefore they hate God, but more fundamentally, they just hate anything that can possibly impose upon them, whether it does so naturally or not. Like, you're right to call it Luciferian, because, I mean, the fall of the devil was his rejection of God's will, simply because it was not his own. To say that, I've talked about this before as well, obviously, in my Fall of the Devil lectures on previous live streams, that for Satan to choose to disobey God is to assert that he, Satan, knows better how the world ought to be ordered than God does. And that's what Kreia is doing here. She claims to know she claims to know better what and who and how she ought to be than the fundamental organizing force of reality, the Force. Now, this philosophical conundrum absolutely cannot sustain itself unless we personify the Force. Unless there is a personality, or a person that either is the Force or is behind the Force. Basically, without monotheism, this whole thing just collapses and makes no sense. So we have to posit something like a monotheistic universe. So that's cool. Dovev was right all along. Right, Erica? For this to make any sense. But setting that aside, if the Force has a will, she hates it because it has a will, even if that will is what is best for all of reality. Right? So it's almost like the Sith philosophy, the core Sith philosophy of instead of submitting oneself to the will of the Force, it is imposing one's own will upon the Force. But it's not imposing one's own will upon the Force. It's imposing one's own will upon oneself and saying, the Force be damned. Because the Force tries to impose itself upon me. That's the only real change here from the Sith philosophy, is an acknowledgement that one is not as powerful as the Force. And so, by trying to deny the will of the Force, the Sith are ultimately going to be self-destructive in their pursuit of autonomous power using the Force. Whereas for Kreia, she wants to destroy and eliminate the Force, so there is no such imposition upon her. That's what she's after here. This gets as pride and selfishness, fundamentally mental masturbation, intellectual self-righteousness. Again, it's believing oneself to be superior to God, essentially, or to the Force in this case, or that which is behind the Force, or that than which no greater can be thought. It's thinking that you yourself are greater than that than which no greater can be thought, which cannot be thought, but it can be felt. If you hate the Force, why do you use it? Let's accuse her of some hypocrisy here and see where this goes.
I use it as I would use a poison, and in the hopes of understanding it, I will learn the way to kill it. But perhaps these are the excuses of an old woman who has grown to rely on a thing she despises.
Wizkid says all villains boil down to wanting to be God and hating God for it, all of them. Yeah. All sin is ultimately pride. Can ultimately be reduced to pride. Augustine makes this argument really strongly that in his sort of follow-up discussion in the Confessions about the theft of the pears, he asks why he and his juvenile delinquent friends stole a bunch of pears from a stranger's tree and then just threw them away to give them to the pigs. It wasn't because they wanted them. It wasn't even because out of like a weird camaraderie or anything. Not exclusively. It was because they knew it was wrong. And by doing what they knew to be wrong, what they were doing is they were trying to some degree, imitate God's omnipotence by declaring what is wrong to be right, to call evil things good, good things evil. And if you call evil things good in your actions, then what you're essentially doing is you're placing yourself in the place of God. It's pride. So all sin, in this sense, boils down to a form of pride. And this is why it's the chiefest of the deadly sins. So, why me, Kreia?
Perhaps you were expecting some surprise, for me to reveal a secret that had eluded you, something that would change your perspective of events, shatter you to your core. There is no great revelation, no great secret. There is only you.
Okay, Ryan Johnson. Your Snoke theory sucks. Your exile theory sucks. Oh, God. Wizkid says that's why school shooters kill people. And themselves. I think that, more importantly, that's why almost always school shooters wind up killing themselves afterwards as well. Because that is the single last act of autonomy that they can hope to grasp onto. Revenge against God for the imposition of existence. Yeah. And that's why those kinds of destructive murder sprees almost always end in suicide as well. I think that there's a very close connection there. There were other Jedi you could have chosen.
No, there were not. In times past and in times future, there are Jedi who will stop listening to the Force, those that will try to forget it, but maintain unconscious ties. And those, as in the past, just as I, who have had the Force stripped from them. But no Jedi ever made the choice you did, to sever ties so completely, so utterly, that it leaves a wound in the Force. It was a mistake to try to make you feel it again, I see that now. There is no truth in the Force, but there is truth in you, Exile, and that is why I chose you.
Yeah, that is so incredibly existentialist. There is no truth in the Force, which is like saying there is no truth in the truth. But there is truth in you, in your truth. It's basically your truth, my truth, as a substitute for truth, capital T, that modernist and especially postmodernist philosophers hate so terribly. Remember that one? Remember the women's studies professor in What is a Woman? Who gets super offended that Matt Walsh would ask something about truth? That's what Kreia is. That's Kreia here. This kid says, as much of an ass he is with Star Wars. The guy actually isn't a bad director of fun, dumb movies. Are you talking about Glass Onion? Because I haven't seen it. I don't know if I've seen any of his other stuff. I'm not sure if I've actually seen any of his other stuff. I might not have. Okay. See you later, Wizkid. See you maybe next week. I'm gonna finish this up, I think. What happens now?
The apprentice must kill
Good
the
night.
master. If you do not, I will kill you. If I do not, then all you have achieved will be as nothing, as empty and as violent as Malachor itself.
Then let us end this. Moana. Oof. Oh God! Stop that! Nope. Nah. Oh, where'd she go? Where'd she go? Coward running away from me. Try again. No! What else can I do here? I can try and stasis. That does a little bit. That's pretty good. Nope, not that. That one. Didn't work. Really? Yeah, keep doing that. This is working fine. This is working out. Oh, man. There we go. Should have been doing that. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna use lightning. Finish her off with lightning. I don't need your teaching anymore. I've defeated you, both in mind and body.
Then finish this. Kill me. Strike me down, and at last, end this.
No, this is already over. Your life is yours, Kreia. You cannot teach me anymore. Ah, here we go.
Mercy. I will see you break before you do.
Spinny Sabies. Yeah, don't like it. Stab it with the sabers. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. No, stop. Ow. Work. Well, it's only one of them now. I think I chased off the other two.
I will silence this one. At last, it is done. You are greater than any I have ever trained. By killing me here, you have rewarded me more than you can possibly know. No, no. Many choices were there, but you made the right ones. It is your choice. I had hoped you would follow Revan's path, but you and Revan are different, and your path is your own. You may take one of the ships that orbit Malachor and depart this place, or you may remain here on Malachor and wait for the others, those touched by the Force, who will come in time. Or you may return to your exile, where your presence will no longer affect the actions of others. There is no dishonor in any of these choices. I only ask that you make the choice without regret. Many things do I see as I gaze here from the heart of Malachor. This place channels such energies. If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another. You travel with them for so long, yet you do not know them still. Feel them through the Force, feel what they feel, hear their thoughts and know them as I fought to know you. They were the lost Jedi, you know, the true Jedi upon which the future will be built. They simply needed a leader and a teacher. She will stop hunting life and instead live it. She was not born to be a predator, despite her true father and the life she led within the shadow of Nar Shaddaa. She will miss you and think of you often. You who awakened her to what life is. She will live, but only for a time. Her death will occur in many years' time on a forgotten planet, saving the lives of others. But it will be her choice, and she will have no regrets. Many battles does that one have left in him, as Revan intended. A general needs an army as he needs those he trusts. And Canderous is a loyal beast, no matter how much he has broken upon Revan's will. But you know this. They will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end, the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man too easily slain by Jedi. The blinded one shall return to her home world, and she shall look upon the surface of that world and perhaps at last see what she was meant to see. Her life has been changed by your meeting in ways that may not be felt for decades to come. Salvation is a relative thing, but as you understand it, yes. He cannot help but love you in his way. It is a pure, ideal love he holds, yet somehow it never dulls in your presence or through your actions. If he leaves this place, he will leave the galaxy behind him. He will sit upon the new council, reluctantly, as all good men do, and he will not forget the Jedi who had lost the Force, yet showed him the way to reclaim it. After that, I do not know. I do know that you must leave him behind, the same choice that Revan made. Where you are destined, you must not take anyone you love, and of the ones who traveled with you, that is all I see.
No, Atten? What about you?
I would have killed the galaxy to preserve you. I would have let the galaxy die. You
That's your whole
are
goal.
more rare than you know, and what you have taught yourself must not be allowed to die. You are not a Jedi, not truly, and it is for that I love you.
And Bowder and the droids?
Their paths are unknown to me, even the small one who waits for you outside this place. I sense it has one last journey for you. You must go where Revan did, into the unknown regions, where the Sith, the true Sith, wait in the dark for the great war that comes.
And Revan? He came here, was here. What happened to him?
It is because he remembered what lay buried here, this place, its teachings. It paved the way to Korriban, you know, the remnants here. And because Malachor, like Korriban, is on the fringes of the ancient Sith Empire, where the Sith wait for us in the dark.
We've fought the Sith.
Have we? You thought that the corrupted remnants of the Republic, the machines spawned by technology that Revan led into battle, were the Sith? You are wrong. The Sith is a belief, and its empire, the true Sith Empire, rules elsewhere.
Here we go.
And Revan knew that the true war is not against the Republic. It waits for us beyond the Outer Rim, and he has gone to fight it in his own way. And he left the Ebon Hawk and all its machines behind, for he knew he would not need them. And like you, he knew he must leave all loves behind as well, no matter how deeply one cares for them.
It's kind of self-sacrifice, but it's the same kind of self-sacrifice what we see of men going off to war, leaving their families behind, to protect what they leave behind. Same time, though, I'm not entirely convinced that the way he did it was the only way of doing it. Maybe it needed to be, maybe the conflict with the Sith needed to be delayed for hundreds of years so the Republic could recover, maybe. And maybe Revan going alone was the only way of doing that. Not sure. If that's the case, then maybe, but I do think that's a hell of a sacrifice, not just for yourself, but for your family as well. Why?
Because such attachments are not the way of the Jedi, and they would only bring doom to them both in the dark places where he now walks. It would have helped had he made her understand, but she was always strong-willed, that one, and did not understand war as Revan did.
Talking about Bastila. Yeah, that describes Bastila perfectly well. Why did you not follow him?
Because I did not know where he had gone. If he had asked, would I have gone? I do not know. But he will need warriors, Sith and Jedi, any who can be sent after him into the depths of space, for any who know the way. Perhaps you shall go there with him and do battle at the end of all things. Instead, I remained here, and now show others the way.
What of the Republic?
The Republic will fall, as it always has. A fall that will take millennia, under the care of the herds of Ithor. The surface of Telos will bloom again, and its golden fields shall again harbor scientists and thinkers. and complacent and peaceful it shall forget the time that Saul Karath orbited it and brought fire to its skies. But it shall be a home world again to others who will stretch out across the galaxy and bring life.
Oh, nice. What of Dantooine?
Dantooine shall survive. The community you saved shall be the foundation upon which Dantooine shall be habitable again. They shall drive back the raiders, the Mandalorians, and all that strike at the outer rim. The Republic shall again establish their presence there and shield it with its forces, and Dantooine shall heal, be safe, and its skies free. The ruins of the Academy shall remain.
Nar Shaddaa.
Nar Shaddaa shall persist as it always has, but there will be a heart to the world where there was nothing before. Where once the lost and disposed were trapped there, now they will struggle and grow. From despair shall come hope.
That's wishful thinking about Nar Shaddaa. Still seems kind of like a hellhole. You know. What about Onderon?
Queen Talia shall have a long reign. Much good will come of it. She will, as she has, rule wisely and well. Onderon shall remain in the Republic, and the world shall prosper, though its people shall, over time, lose their customs in the ocean of the Republic, and become the people of Onderon no longer.
I don't remember if that got fully overturned in the old EU, but in the new canon, no, Onderon is still 3,000 years from now, in the time of the Clone Wars, still very much Onderon. Very much Onderon. Tell me about Korriban.
Korriban shall be as it always was. A graveyard for the darkest of the Sith Lords, still whispering within their tombs. It shall always be a source of evil, spawning threats throughout the millennia. It, like Malachor, brushes the edges of the Empire that waits in the dark. And like Malachor, the Sith have forgotten it. For a time, they will remember. Revan knew this.
One of my allies? What of them?
You travel with them for so long. Feel them. They...
Okay. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
And...
did I miss anything? The Sith have already struck against the Republic.
Have we?
Oh. Same dialogue, okay. Why? Did you not follow him? Okay, that's everything. Rest now, Kreia. Your time in this place is over. Atton, you're alive. I'm shocked.
You're alive. Did I save you yet?
Bruh. Atton, hold on, I can still help you.
Your eyes. That bad, huh? Always was ugly. Now the outside matches. Was waiting for this, but it's not fair. Let you down. Was supposed to save you.
You did, Atton. You fought bravely, and I could not ask for a greater sacrifice.
Was tired of living anyway. Too many deaths. Never told you. Lied to you.
All that was your past is forgiven, Atton. Be still.
I don't want you to see me like this. I don't want to die in front of you. Can't bear it.
There is no death, Atton. There is only the Force.
Loved you from the moment I first saw you. Thought you were a dream. Meant every word. Tried to play it off as a joke. Wasn't funny. Hurts when I laugh. Hurts.
Forgot that he dies there. No idea how they got back to the Ebon Hawk. And there we go, it's breaking apart. Okay. Alright, I gotta talk over this part. Or skip it. There we go. Oh, here we go. Now we have the non-copyright music, and I can talk for another 8 minutes or so. I'm gonna not probably talk for that whole 8 minutes, because my gosh, am I tired. My voice is giving out, so, well, anyway, that was excellent timing on the finish, the ending of that. Excellent. Anyway, like I said, I am planning on doing a nice full conversation, hopefully with WizKid, who will hopefully join me, and then whoever else wants to. If you're interested in joining me next week to discuss some of the themes in this game and talk about some of the philosophy going on, talk about Noah Caldwell Gervais' video essay on the thing and what he gets right, what he gets wrong, etc. Let me know. Let me know in the Discord server. I'm absolutely happy to have as many people on as I can manage. So do let me know. Let me know if you're interested. I cannot wait to talk about this one. Like I said, I actually think that the first game is overall better than the second one, especially in terms of story. And yet, this is still one of those masterpieces of Star Wars storytelling. On par with anything else Star Wars has put out ever. EU or new canon, regardless. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is a great game. The KOTOR duology and what was meant to be a trilogy was phenomenal. And if we include SOTOR, the Old Republic, the MMO, as the sort of conclusion of the trilogy, I think it really does. I mean, it wraps up nicely and then it goes off in its own direction. So if we were going to do a playthrough on that, I'd probably stop before I get it. Stop after maybe like Shadow of Revan, something like that. We probably wouldn't do the big expansion, the Knights of the Eternal Throne stuff. Anyway, if we were to do that, I'm not committing to it. I'm not sure about that. I'm still leaning pretty hard towards Mass Effect, going back to Mass Effect and playing Andromeda. But we'll see. That'll be in 2 weeks. So Thursday, plan on coming right back here, and I will see you right here for Kingdom Come Deliverance. We'll be picking up where we left off last week, trying to find those damn dogs to skin. Anyway, so we'll be doing that Thursday. And then Monday, like I said, we'll be coming back here. Instead of playing KOTOR, we will be discussing KOTOR. We'll be talking about it and analyzing some of the philosophical issues at play here. And then after that, next Thursday, still Kingdom Come, but then afterwards, moving on to something else. Like I said, it's still up in the air as to what I'm going to pick. I'm leaning a little bit towards Mass Effect, but all those options are still on the table. So let me know what you think. If you've got a preference, let me know on the Discord. Let me know on the Facebook or in the comments or wherever you wind up finding me. And thank you so much for joining me through this series. It has been a wonderful time. I've had a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. So, good night, everybody. Merry Christmas. And remember, don't be safe. Be well. And more importantly, be good. Good night.